So I have been playing Cyberpunk 2077 for a while now, and then Stray has been released. So I have decided why not to play Stray as well. But I noticed something interesting about this game that has made me not only just completing the game but also investigating further. I have noticed that actually both games are maybe on the same timeline due to the similarity of the idea of how human beings' future would look like in both games. After I have finished Stray, I still had some questions and I've also built up a theory in my mind that I would like to discuss with you. Now I know that you might stop me right here and telling me, dude, they both are different games, what are you talking about? Hang in there, let me explain with evidences why both games complete each other in my opinion and why I believe they are taking place on the same timeline. The future you see in Stray is an evolution of a program has been created back in 2027 by a woman called Alt Cunningham. The program was modified by a corporation called Arasaka and they named it the Soul Killer. The Soul Killer program's idea is to convert a human conscience from the biological phase to a digitized phase. All memories are extracted and uploaded into a biochip that takes over the new host, or data can be uploaded on a server.
And you? Who are you?
Now, before we start seeing the evolution of human beings in this video, I want first to take you to Stray Age and let's study these weird robots' behavior closely first. If you have already finished playing Stray, let me show you that there are two types of robots in this game, or we can say two types of vessels or hosts, just to fit our theory. The first type is what you have encountered in most parts of the game. This type is very interesting. They have their own conscience and free will. The second type is at the subway station before reaching control room, and those are just ordinary robots doing some specific tasks based on what they have been programmed to do. I have been roaming inside the world of a Stray game trying to figure out what is the nature of the first type of robots around. So let's see the nature of these robots. Let's start from Dead City, the place where I gathered a lot of information to build my own theory. My first encounter ever with these smart robots was with B12, who has become my companion till the very end of the game. First I thought that B12 is the only unique robots out there, but the more I have encountered with these robots, the more I have realized that B12 isn't the only smart robot around. My first conversation ever with these human lookalike robots was with a robot called the Guardian. The first thing my B12 drone has translated to me is, they have their own language. But wait a second here, why does a robot need a vocal language to communicate with another robot? Isn't that a human behavior? Isn't it more practical to send and receive signals instead? Actually, there is another thing that has caught my attention here. Why do these robots wear clothes? Not only just normal clothes but stylish clothes. They actually care about fashion and I have seen a clothes shop nearby. Can you believe that? A robot has a taste in clothes. Isn't that also a human behavior? Then the questions started falling on my head like rain. Take a look at this street guitarist robot. Why does she need a guitar to play a song? Can't she just, play the music via her system music player or something? Isn't that irrelevant behavior for a robot to do? Isn't playing a guitar considered a human hobby? take a look at this robot also. He's a homeless robot smoking some sort of drug or something. And when I talked to him, he was actually speaking as he was high on something. Isn't that a human behavior? Why a robot has to use head, chest, belly, arms, legs, hands, and feet to move? Isn't that inefficient in terms of power consumption? Not to mention not practical compared to just using normal box-shaped body with wheels. Speaking of their human look-alike bodies, why do they live in a place that's meant to be used by human beings, not robots? Can't you see it clearly that these robots are desperately trying to preserve the legacy of the human race, even if that comes at operating efficiency cost? Why does a robot need to behave like a human being? Unless that robot is actually related somehow to humans, or in some cases it is a human being. And this is the part where I am about to explain the origin of my theory. My theory is that those are not robots. Their origins are digitized psyches of deceased human beings that were uploaded into these robotic vessels. Behind the guardian in the slums, there is a drawing with writings on the wall inside the garage. The drawing shows a picture of a human being hand in hand with a robot, and the writings say, "Our long-gone ancestors, the soft ones, left us this city. Our home is their legacy." So they consider themselves a new race descendant from the human race, which makes them humans too, but in another form, you know? Or we can say that they are an evolved race that is descendant of the human race. There are another writings inside Elliot's house in the slums that say, "We were programmed to be slaves, but since almost 7 million years we have a soul. Hope one day the outsiders will find the exit of this hell. Mumu." So you can guess that these particular writings support my opinion about the two types of robots. Remember that the body itself is a vessel, but the brain of a robot decides if that robot is merely a machine or a human being descendant. B12 himself has admitted that he was a human being, but his memories were uploaded into a computer. And this is where we are traveling back in time to the origin of this technology. The origin of the idea is in Cyberpunk 2077 that started in 2027 in Night City. It was a program created by a netrunner called Alt Cunningham. There is a corporation called Arasaka which has taken over Alt's program, modified it, and named it the Soul Killer program. The project was in its trial phase. They have used Alt as their first test subject. The test has been successful. Alt's mortal body has died, and she has been held captive in their servers in her digital form. Her boyfriend Johnny decided to set her free, so he has blown up one of Arasaka's towers. The one Alt's digitized psyche is captured in one of its servers. The building has been brought to the ground, and Alt has successfully fled into the net. Johnny has been secretly captured by Arasaka and also used as a test subject. They moved his engram into a biochip. Later, after 50 years in 2077, there was a guy called V. V and his friend Jackie have gotten a heist job to steal a biochip that belongs to Arasaka Corporation. The biochip that has turned to be the one Johnny's digitized psyche is stored into. Things went bad and Jackie died. V has jacked himself with the biochip into his chip slot that is connected to his brain. He did that to save the biochip from failing. However, after the heist, things went south and V has been betrayed and got shot into his head. The digitized personality constructs only take over dead hosts. In V's case, he was freshly dead, So he has woken up with two personas, his persona and Johnny's persona that was trying to take over his brain.
Who are you?
After the accident, V has been saved by a man called Takimura, and he took him to his river doctor's clinic. His doctor has barely saved his life temporarily.
No other way.
There is risk of...
I know what I'm doing.
After he has woken up, they started chatting and he has explained to V how this chip works.
How you feeling?
I don't know, Vic. Ears are ringing, and I'm seeing shit.
These hallucinations. Describe them to me.
Blinding lights. It's loud. I'm on stage, and I almost can't breathe. I'm so damn full of hatred. Then I let it all out into a mic, and I realized it didn't help. I don't feel any better. And then, promise not to laugh, I plant a bomb in Arasaka Tower.
Nothing there to laugh about.
They killed me, Vic. Never been so afraid. It was too real, even for a lucid dream.
You weren't dreaming, V. Those were memories. There's a personality construct on that shard. Dreams you had, or from his past.
Hang on. You mean to say there's an actual terrorist in my head? Right now?
That's right, Johnny Silverhand. Had his crowning moment about 50 years ago. AHQ bombing. Heard of it? It's his doing. People say he was buried under the rubble. Anyway, that's not what's important right now.
Never given me that look before, Vic. What is it?
You, don't got a lot of time left, kid.
Say what now?
The biochip. It's basically a bomb. Fuse lit already. You don't have much time left. Much life. A few weeks, tops. Silverhand's construct is overriding your consciousness, gradually taking over your body until one day you'll just be gone. V, it's important you get all this.
fix me up, right? Vic?
If I could, I would, V. Believe me. But it's way beyond what I know how to do.
You're the best of the best, Vic. Why can't you help me?
You want the long story or the short?
Don't admit a thing, not one deed.
Okay. There was...
He also mentioned that a human body parts can be replaced with chrome or other materials, or even the entire body can be replaced completely except the brain, because the brain is another story. But it seems like Arasaka has secretly solved the human brain mystery, and it looks like the Soul Killer project was an advancement and a huge breakthrough.
Perfect.
Your body's only a body. You can modify it, replace it with chrome, hell, get a new one altogether. Your mind, though? Oh, that's a whole nother story. From the biochip's perspective, your brain cells are a tumor that needs to be scooped out, while your body's an empty shell to hold the construct.
So this fucking terrorist wants to wipe me and take my place, take my body.
It's not willful on his part, it's automatic. Inevitable. And neither of you can stop it.
After a while, V went to a woman called Brigitte. After doing some errands for her, she helped him to contact Alt Cunningham on the net.
Alt!
Johnny, you cannot remain here. Alt Cunningham.
Alt? What's going on?
We will talk here.
Relax. Let me handle this.
Johnny,
Came through the black wall to meet me. That mean we're good? Things are chill between us?
I have recognized your engram code, but I do not know why you are here.
To give you a chance to pay me.
V, Johnny and Alt had a conversation, and she explained how the Soul Killer works. She offered V a solution that saves his life from being taken over by Johnny's psyche. The idea was to split his conscience from Johnny's construct, converting all V's memory into a digitized personality construct, and then re-uploading it back to his mortal body. So he will die, yet he will live again as a digitized psyche himself.
Listen, I'm just trying to survive.
I cannot help you.
Can't or won't?
Can't. To attempt to do so, I would need access to more advanced technology.
What? But it's your tech. You created Soul Killer.
The program I created has little in common with how Arasaka has since repurposed it.
Fine, so how about Mikoshi? That advanced enough for you?
If I could gain access to Mikoshi, it would cease to exist.
Good, we can work with that. We'll get you inside Mikoshi and you'll help V, deal?
What can you do for me, exactly?
With the Soul Killer resident inside Mikoshi, I will create a construct of you, then disentangle your neural network from Johnny's. I shall then inject your engram back into your mortal form.
So, you'll save my life, but flatline me along the way.
Your consciousness, neural engrams, will be recorded as data. The rest will cease to exist.
The rest?
The soul. I did not grant the program its name, but Soul Killer does precisely what it promises to do.
Christ, I don't want to listen to this bullshit. V just hops back into his body, right? Nothing changes.
Everything changes. You know this well.
Right, so we got a plan.
Also later, the man who saved V's life confessed to him that his friend Jackie's corpse has been taken by Arasaka Corporation secretly before his burial to extract his engram from it.
When I set out to find you, others went to find Jackie. They took his body. For the life of me, can't figure why. So his mom couldn't give him a proper send-off? Arasaka has a method for pulling information from the dead. What are you talking about? Don't ask for details. I understand little. I know they use the Soul Killer program to do so. They can pull an engram from Well's body. Damaged, incomplete, but still an engram.
Motherfuckers. Evil.
Jackie's psyche, where are they keeping it? This, I do not know. Why am I only hearing this now? I did not know I could trust you. The circumstances have changed.
Now let's recap things here before we go back to Stray again. So, there is a program called the Soul Killer. The program converts the memories of human beings, dead or alive, to a digitized psyche or a personality construct that leads them to die if they were alive. The digitized form can be uploaded to a new host or to the internet. Now let's observe the first type of robots in Stray again. They chat. They giggle. They eat. They drink. They party. They love. They are actually human descendants. We can understand now that they were originally personality constructs, and robotic bodies were made to be lookalike human bodies to be the perfect new hosts for these personality constructs. But wait a minute here, might be a flaw in this theory. How can these robots be evolved descendants of the human race if they were originally digitized personality constructs? I mean, digitized personality constructs are not mammals, and they cannot breed, right? Well, I think it's possible to have a child if you are a digitized personality construct. If some of you have studied programming languages, you have probably come across a feature called inheritance. Suppose you have two blocks of data, and you want to create a new block that inherits characteristics from both blocks. You can use inheritance to create a third block that is built based on the two blocks' data. It simply inherits its data from their data. In programming languages, the blocks we inherit from are called the parents, and the new block that inherits the data is called the child. So imagine two personality constructs love each other. How can they have a child? It's easy. They use inheritance, but with their entire personality construct, not just blocks of data. The result will be a new personality construct that inherits characteristics from both parents. If the parents have their own free will, the child by default will have his own free will too. And of course, the new child's personality construct can be easily uploaded into a new host to live like its parents, and meeting up with another child from another parents, and they create a grandchild, and so on and so on. The huge time gap between the creation of the Soul Killer program and the new race we are dealing with in Stray game is almost 7 million years, which is more than enough to make the new generation gradually evolve until they finally become a race of their own, but of course a descendant race of the human race. This is the situation of the race we are dealing with in Stray game. That's it. That's my theory here. I have actually a final question for you. If you are on your deathbed and someone has offered you an opportunity to convert all your memories into a digitized psyche, will you accept the offer?